Hello and welcome. I'm not live tonight. This is a figment of your imagination if you're seeing me. There is no stream tonight. I am not streaming tonight because I'm not home. So you can't see me hiding behind a printer here if there's even anybody watching. Anybody watching? I'm late. I didn't schedule. um, I just thought I'd pop on real quick in case anybody is out there waiting and wondering because I normally do come on, but decided that we took a family trip down to the mountains today. It was such a gorgeous day out today, so we took a drive down to Waterton Lakes National Park, or the town side of Waterton. To my American friends, that would be the Canadian side of Glacier National Park. So the Wiz and Bigger Fish and Jack Black and David Wilson. Yeah, you guys were wondering. I didn't schedule anything. I should have put a Twitter or something out, but I decided that we went on a drive. We left at 7 o'clock this morning. It's a good 3.5 hour drive down to Waterton, and then I just literally got home. I'm windburned. I'm sunburned. I'm you name it, and I'm burned. Richard McLean, hello, hello. So, um, I'm not. I guess since I'm on, I can do a little bit of a stream, but and we can talk about a couple things that are going on. I'm trying to get the pie on this thing going, but I'm not having any luck at all. So I thought, well, maybe I'm having a problem with the memory cards, right? So um, you were there about 10 years ago, Glacier and Waterton. Yeah, Waterton's a beautiful place. It's a shame. About 5 or 6 years ago, they had the major forest fires, and it burned a lot of the side of the mountains. Fortunately it spared the town site. It spared the Prince of Wales Hotel, but it's just a shame. It's not as green and lush as it used to be, but it's still a beautiful place to visit. And it was a gorgeous day to get down there today. So a lot of driving, though. I mean, we're speaking 7 hours on the road of driving, but it's a nice drive. We pass a bunch of little towns and different townships and stuff on the way, and yeah, we had a great time. Ethan loved it, taking a lot of pictures. Yeah, we absolutely loved it. If you're on my Facebook, I posted a few pictures on my Facebook this morning from Waterton, or this afternoon, whenever it was. So, but it was a great trip. And again, I apologize for not mentioning I wasn't coming on, but I figure you guys know if I don't come on. Usually, I will put a little bit of a little trailer out or a little thumbnail up if I'm coming on. But I thought, well, I'm on the road. I'm not going to do it. So last week I stole the Raspberry Pi 4 board from my Trident build over here. And meanwhile, I ordered a Raspberry Pi 4, 8 gig of RAM, and it came in last week as well. I think it came in on Thursday. So I've got a brand new Raspberry Pi here. They are available now it's actually called the PiStore.ca, and regular pricing. They didn't gouge the pricing. So I have a brand new Pi here. So for some reason, make sure you use a class 10 card. Yes, I did buy a couple brand new cards because I thought maybe I'm having an issue with the card. So we're going to try and burn a new card. And so the card I got they're SanDisk, name brand cards, 128 gig. They are class 10 cards, okay? 128 gig, 140 megabytes per second cards for speed. They're micro SD XC Ultra UHS 1 cards. They are class 10 for sure. So that is fine. I thought maybe, should I be burning 32-bit for the Pi 4 or should I be burning 64-bit? So my next attempt was going to be to burn 32-bit version of the firmware, but I don't know if I should be burning 32-bit or 64-bit for this. So let's try it again. I'm only going to stay on for about an hour tonight. It's going to be a short one. I wasn't going to come on at all. I got home and I thought I am dead because that's a long drive and a lot of sun and a lot of wind today. So let's give this a try since we're here. 64-bit for the Pi 4. That's what I thought. So we'll just put a brand new card in here. If I can figure out how to open it, I think I'm going to need my scissors. We'll put a brand new card in so that I can't blame the memory card, and then we'll see what happens. So I'll show you how I got this thing hooked up now, just to reiterate in case I am not doing something right here and you guys see something I'm not doing right here. So if I can switch to the, is this camera or this camera? No, that's not the right camera. Which camera am I on here? Sorry. Oops. Okay, I think, oh, I know I haven't got these cameras programmed to my, oh, hang on. So is this camera not plugged in? Hang on. I just got home. I just got home and came on live. I didn't even take the time to set anything up yet. So bear with me for 1 second. I might have unplugged this camera. Let's see. Ah. Aha. No wonder the camera's not working. Look at that. Oh, no wonder, because I got that thing plugged in there. What do I need? Where's that little adapter thing I had? Where did I put it? Try both, David says. Yeah, can't hurt to try. 32-bit, 64-bit. I've tried the 64-bit with 2 different memory cards. I haven't tried the brand new memory card yet. So we'll give that a shot. There's my little adapter. I need to go from USB-A to USB-C, plug into my computer here for my camera. Bear with me 1 second, and then I've got to go to this camera here. No, not that one, this camera, and then I just have to deactivate and activate. There we are. Okay, so this camera is now working. Perfect. So I'm going to show you guys what I've done here. And if anybody can see anything I've done wrong here, point it out, let me know. But I think I've got everything set up correctly here. So there's a, here, let me focus on this. Let me get a little closer too, so you can kind of see. There we go. Okay, so what we've done here, you can use 32 or 64, but don't use 32-bit each process, limited to memory. Definitely use 64. Okay, well, we'll try the 64 with the new card and see what happens. But, so we have USB-A from the Pi into the USB-C. Why is this camera, did I break this camera again? Hang on. Did I unplug this camera again? No. This camera seems to be frozen again. Yeah. Okay, let me try one more time. Deactivate and activate. There we go. Now we got it working. So I've come out from USB-A on the Pi into the USB-C on the main board. Okay, that's for the USB connection. And then, of course, I've got my power going into the power and down out of my 5-volt power supply up into the power. So I am positive I have the USB plugged in correctly. It doesn't matter which USB port I go in, I'm sure. Am I on the blue ones? No, I'm on a regular white one. I guess I could switch to the blue. It doesn't matter. But again, I'm going from USB to USB on the board, which really shouldn't affect me flashing the Pi anyways, right? That's just communicating between the Pi and the board. 64 is reportedly stable now, but you cannot confirm. Oh, I see. Hey, Stephen Labad. Each process is limited for memory. Okay. 64 I didn't even know the 64 was not stable. See, when we had it working, when it was working with the Pi 02W, that was a 32-bit version, right? So what I'll try, I'm going to sneeze here. Okay. I'm going to try this brand new card, and we will flash the brand new card with the 64-bit version, see if I can get it to work. And then we will, if that doesn't work, then we'll try the 32-bit version, see if it works and see what's going on. I know the Pi works because the Pi was plugged into the Trident back when the Trident was working. So I know that the problem is definitely not going to be the Pi. Make sure the DT overlays are configured for your card. DT overlays, downtown overlays. I don't know what that means. I am letting the software. So what we're using is we're using Balena Etcher. Okay, so let's go to my display. So we're using Balena Etcher. Let's minimize this to make things easy. I am using, cancel that. So I'm flashing from a file. And the file I'm going to flash from is, I'm going to do the 2.01. 2.02 is a beta release. 2.01 is the previous stable release. So we're going to flash from a 2.01. So we're going to open that. We have a generic micro SD card in here, which is the one that's in there. So even if I go change, that's the new micro SD card I just put in there, 128 gigs. So we'll select that. And then we will go, there's no other, I don't think there's settings in here I need. No, trim unallocated space, auto detect updates enabled, and so, okay. So this is what I plan to do. Let me get back on the screen, see if anybody disagrees with what I'm about to do. Okay, I think we're okay. So if we come back on here and we go flash, it's going to flash this brand new memory card. Yes, we know. So we're going to say yes, Windows, you go ahead and do what you need to do. So that's where we're at right now. I don't know what a DT overlays, Jack. I'm not sure what that means. So let's let this flash in the pan. We'll let that flash and we'll try it again. Oh, I'm thirsty. It was a hot day today. This little mug, this thing is so cool. Maria picked these up at Costco. These are, I don't know, insulated thermal mugs. We've had ice in these from 7 o'clock this morning, full of water. There is still ice in it, and it was left in a hot car several times through the day, and there's still ice in it. These things are awesome. So I still have ice and water for tonight. They are an ARM core module. ARM core module. I've never had to worry about that before, so I still don't know what that means. That's computer lingo. That's computer talk. And it's above that. This is my head. That computer talk is about right up here and have to be set up for the boot. Well, I would assume that whatever's got to be done on that card in order for this to work, that the Balena etcher should do all of that for me. Correct? Hey, Sergio. Hello. Because it kind of the Balena stuff does all that legwork. It formats the card, it erases what's on it, yada yada yada. But this is a brand new card, so not like the Mod Probe boot. Hey, Jose. Hello. You are on even though I'm late. Holy crap! Look at that. Jack, I really don't understand, honestly, and I'm sorry, I don't understand that talk. Raspberry config. Okay. I'm not using the Raspberry Pi imaging software. I'm using the Balena etcher, which worked. It worked on the Pi Zero W or 02W card when we tried it. And so the only reason I switched to this one is because I need an additional USB for the beacon probe. Jose, you're not late. I'm late. I just came on. I just started literally 13 minutes ago. I'm the one that's late, so no need to apologize. And even if you're late, big deal. No big deal. I was down at Waterton today. Beautiful down there. If anybody's never been to Waterton National Park in Canada or Glacier National Park in Banff, like look at this is the Prince of Wales Hotel. Look at let's see if this works. Look at the sky. Like, oh, this does not do it justice, but that's on the top of the hill, the Prince of Wales Hotel. Oh, this camera does not do this justice. The blue sky in this thing is incredibly just blue. It was as clear as dark blue sky, bright day. Oh, it was beautiful. It was an incredible day today. When we went to the Cameron Waterfalls, so there's a beautiful waterfall down there. Yeah, this camera is not doing these pictures justice. Anyways, you gotta take my word for it. Beautiful. You wish you could go there. Is it Octopus 1.1? My main board is 1.1, David. Yes. Yes, it's 1.1. And it's got an ARM something number on it. So Must not be the path of the smoke. No. Oh, no, no, there's no smoke down there. Little bit, as you got down. The mountains were a little bit, hazy as we went down, but I have a feeling of the haze today was from the heat, 'cause we were 33 degrees down there today, which is 96, just shy of 100 degrees Fahrenheit in all your talk. So, we are validating the card now. The flashing is done. We are into the validating stage at 71%. We seem to go mind you, this is a new card. It's probably a faster card. Yeah, it's a 1-1, Dave. 1.1. I'm positive. I looked on the back of the board because it's the same board that's on the other on my other printer over there. So yeah. Oh, I feel like a walking pylon today, wearing the orange. So all these memory cards these days come with these um, SD adapters, and I got so many of those SD adapters. Flash complete. Okay, the flash is complete. So what we'll do is we will make sure, like we did last time. Um, no, well, for this one, basically what we need to do. So it just says display flash complete, and it automatically ejects the card. So we will pop the card out of the reader. We'll pop it into the Pi, and what it's going to do is it's going to create a we'll power it on. It's going to create a web. Um, you know what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to log into the. Going to create a Wi-Fi link called RadOS, or a Wi-Fi hotspot called RadOS. Make a copy of the image. Before I do this, thank you, Stephen. A hotspot. It's going to create a hotspot called RadOS. Do you know what Wi-Fi chip you have on my Pi? Oh well. Now you're asking me to. Here, let me zoom in on the Pi for you and see if you can tell me what I have. Let's see. Can I zoom in any further with this camera? Is that as far as I can zoom in on that one? Okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get you a close-up view of the camera of the Pi, and you tell me what chip I have on it, because I have no clue. This camera should be working. Okay, let's see. Can I zoom in any further? Yeah, I can. Look. Okay, where's the, is this the Wi-Fi right here? Right here? It should say Wi-Fi chip. So let's have a look. Holy crap. The writing is so small on these things too. Like, I cannot read the writing on these things. I would not even have a clue which one's the Wi-Fi. Although I would think maybe this one is the Wi-Fi chip, the silver one up top. But then again, I don't know. The main chip is underneath the heatsink, and we have three little black chips here. So that's really tough to tell. Anyway, so we're going to have a hotspot now. I double check on the phone. If I go on to here, where is my, come on, right there. If I go onto my Wi-Fi, and I should see RadOS come up here as a hotspot. I do. So RadOS is on here. Okay. Let's go over here. Let's go to, that's just you just seeing my repeated over and over and over thing there. We'll go to the Wi-Fi settings. and we'll pick RadOS, which should come up here once this refreshes. Where's my networks? Nope. Show available networks. Here we go. Sorry. Okay. There we are. And there's RadOS right there. And we'll connect to RadOS. It's going to read this no problem. This is going to be no problem. Your Pi 3B has to have the overlay set to disable Bluetooth, for example. Oh, interesting. So you're saying I got to go into the Pi and do something to it. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so the RadOS is connected. Okay, so now it's getting past the Octopus setup. Okay, so now that we're connected to RadOS, we'll go back into here and we go ahead and we connect to the configure screen, and this will pop up. There we go. This is what we want to see. Let me pop the chat out over here real quick. Where's my other window here? Let me pop the chat out so that I can keep an eye on the chat while you guys are doing this. Can I pop chat out on this? No, I have to pop chat out on YouTube. Bear with me. Give me 1 second. Let's go here and pop out chat. And let me move that chat window over here so I can keep an eye on what you guys are saying behind my back. And okay, where am I going now? Here we are, and I wanted to find right here. No, that's the different window. This is the one I want, right here. Okay, because we went here, we went to this window. So this is the window that's open, and you say, if all the hardware is found, you're good. All ARM chips operate like this. He has a Pi 4, Octopus setup. Okay, good luck. Yeah, I am wishing good luck. Okay, so we have this. So basically, we're doing a Wi-Fi configure. Actually, let's just close this. Let's make sure we're in the right fresh window. Everything is there. Everything is there. Okay, so let's go back in here. Let's go back to this window here. There's the setup. Okay, it's going to find all my available local networks. So that's my local network right here. Signal strength is excellent. 2.4 gigahertz frequency. That's the only one that I'm broadcasting on here. So we select my network. We put in my password. Okay, but we'll hide it because I don't want to broadcast my password to the world. So we'll hide it. So we'll put it in. Okay, so there's my password. Let me just double check, make sure I got it in there correctly. Okay, the password is in there correctly. Okay. Then we're going to hit Save Wi-Fi Credentials. Okay. And we're using RadOS for the host name. That's fine. Save and connect. Now it tells me RadOS is now set up to connect to SHA 0609036, which is my internet. Okay. And it says your Raspberry Pi will now reboot and join your local Wi-Fi network. Click the button below to reboot the Pi and close this window. You can reconnect to the local network where RadOS.local should be available in a few minutes. If RadOS fails to join SHA 9036, it will recalculate RadOS hotspot and you'll have to try again. So I'm going to say, got it. Okay. And what happens now is it's going ahead and it is rebooting the Pi. Pi is rebooting. So far we're good. Now I'll look up the IP in a minute, but it won't find the IP unless, again, I had no luck finding the IP address last time. So let's just see what happens here. Let's give it a few minutes to reboot. As it said, we're going to reboot. And then if it doesn't find it, I have a feeling if it doesn't find it initially, we're going to pop the card. We're going to check out the supplicant file and make sure that the Wi-Fi credentials stuck. So we'll see what happens. Give it a couple more minutes. Make sure that I'm going to make sure that the light on the Pi stops blinking, because that right now it's still blinking. It's reading it, right? It's reading everything. As soon as that little light stops blinking, we should be good to go. Right there, you can probably still see the green light on there blinking away. There we go. So it's still reading from the card. And I know as soon as we have like a blank or the green light's off, you would need to be in proximity, but you never know who will watch this stream that might be local. Okay, we're still reading a little bit. It's just like a steady blink now. You can see there, a steady blink on that green on the Pi. Still reading, steady blink. Okay, well, it's been a minute or two. Let's go ahead and see. So let's go ahead and open up Advanced IP Scanner. And let's go ahead and scan the IPs and see if I can find the IP for this thing. It won't go solid. I think it'll go off, won't it? I think it'll turn right off. It'll go blank. I think when the green is on, it's when it's reading. Hey, Mika Steve. Let's give this a shot. So these are my local IPs, the 10.0.0. That's my internal locals. So this should assign a 10.0.0 to the local IP here when it joins my network. Okay. And looks like it's not going to find anything. No, it didn't find it. We still have like a steady green blink on that thing. So if we have a look at the light, the green light is still blinking just on and off as if it's still reading or doing something. Okay, which, I don't know. Hey, Tessa. So what I'm going to do is I want to check, because it didn't find it. And I can even go, I mean, heck, I can even go on and open up a window in here and try to go RADOS.local, and it's not going to find it. Guaranteed, it's not going to find it. And it didn't find an IP address for it. So what we'll do, can you log into your Wi-Fi router and see what's on your network? Most routers have that ability. I could probably try, but I don't even know if I know the credentials to get into my router. I think it's 10. Let me see, 10.0.0.1. That is my router, but the username and login for the router, let me see if usually it's on the back of my router on these, because this is a Shaw Cable Systems router. Let me just see if it's on that information screen for the router here. Let me just check. Let me just check and see. Favorites, there it is. So there's my network name, my network and password, but it doesn't tell me the router, the actual how to get into the router. Unless there's a default. Let me see. It's usually admin. And let's try login. And of course, that's probably not going to work. Incorrect password for admin. Let's see if I save the password for this thing. No. Okay, so I don't have a password manager for that. No, and no. So let's try one more thing. 3 login failed attempts and my account will be locked for 5 minutes. I can't get into the router. No. Okay. So let's just not worry about that. At least with good providers, they stick admin password on the router. Okay. I couldn't see it on the router. I'll have to look it up. Anyways, before we get into that, I'm going to go ahead and I want to number one double check because I know we had the issue with this before. Let's power this off. Let's check the supplicant file on this card. Pop it in. Okay, let's go to the display. And that card should pop up in a second. Oh, today. Hang on. Okay, pop it in. And there's, where's my card? It should be my B drive. There it is. Okay, so there's my card. And let's go. Let's open Notepad++. And that's the old one. I'm going to close that. That's the old one. Okay, so we're going to open from my D drive supplicant file, and there is, see there right there. It did not put in the SSID or the password, which it should be right there. Angry IP scanner, then you can see what is where. Interesting. Huh. But if we see right here in the supplicant file that just came out of the Pi, there is nothing configured for internet for Wi-Fi right here. It's not configured. So for some reason, even though we did go ahead and try and configure it in Balena Etcher, it's not there. It's below what you highlighted. Below this, here, it's not here. This is open unsecured network. Don't I want WPA, WPA2? Lower in the list. Oh, right here. Oh, supply. Oh, right here. I see. Supplied by RAT OS Configurator Network. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, now you can see my password. Well, that's all right. But we're still showing a country of Great Britain. Maybe that's the issue. No, we're not. Let's uncomment. Let's uncomment Canada. And let's save this. Okay. Okay, so it's showing right there, supplied by RADOS network. Oh, I see. Okay, so let's just put it down in further. Okay, I wonder if it's because I didn't have the country code showing or something like that. Because it had 0 country code showing. You should not have to choose the lines below, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. Everything else in here should be fine then. Okay, well, let's try it again. Let's close this. We saved it. Let's eject this. Okay, we'll put it in again. And somebody suggested earlier, we have 2 now, just 1. You always use official imager from Raspberry. I tried that as well. We can try burning another one for sure from the Raspberry Pi Imager. Okay. I have country code twice. Do I? Was it in there twice? Oh, I'm not even noticing these things. Hang on, let's see. Let's have a look. Probably did, knowing me. There it is right there. Canada. Oh, Canada. Oh, there it is. I did have it in there twice. You're right. Oh, jeez. You're right. It was there. It was there twice at the bottom. Okay, so we've got that in there. Fine. Let's save and close and close. Okay. Okay. Irregardless, irregardless, this card should be formatted correctly. Everything on this card should be right. So maybe I had to reboot the Pi, power it off, put it on. So we put it back in. Okay, we're in. We'll power it back up again. Let's see what happens. So somebody suggested earlier a different IP scanner. Let's see. Uh, where was it? Where was it? Angry IP scanner. Is that such a thing? So nice, you got to say it twice. Exactly. Okay, let's look up. We only have an hour here tonight, so we're gonna kind of do this on the Suite. So Angry IP scanner. Let's look it up. Angry IP scanner. Here we are. Angry. I don't know why it's so angry. Okay, well let's have a look at this. Free download. Okay, let's do that. Free trial, no card required. Free trial. Okay, fair enough. No, that's not what I want. Let's go back. Oh, this is one of those. It's one of those trick things that tricks you into doing something different. Free download and download for Mac or Unix, Windows, Legacy, Mac OS, Windows. We are on Windows. Windows. Windows installer includes Java runtime, standalone executable. Okay, let's just do this. IP scan. It will happen now. Yes, you do have to reboot the Pi. Just hit the scan button when it boots. Okay, we'll try that again. Meantime, I downloaded this Angry IP scanner. So let's see what this Angry IP scanner is all about. There's my downloads. Can't hurt to have more than one scanner, right? Okay, we'll install Angry IP scanner while we're letting that reboot. Shake it and listen for a rattle. And Angry IP scanner, run Angry IP scanner, finish. Angry IP scanner, IP address scanner, local tool is used for scanning IP addresses with the goal of finding alive hosts and gathering interesting information about each of them. You can start by specifying the IP addresses to scan. Your local IP is entered by default. Clicking the start button. Next. And next and close. There we go. Okay. So it did find my local one already, but it's looking for 192. We want 10.0.0.0. Although I don't think this would assign a 192 address to it if I'm on my local internal IP. So here's what we're looking at here. There's the Angry IP scanner interface right there. So what we want this to be 10.0.0.0.1 to 10.0, oops, 0.0.0. Oh, I don't know, what, 255? Something like that. What OS is this on? Windows. So let's start the scan. Oh, it's going to literally scan every number. Oh, interesting. And it's going to find, oh, this is actually more thorough, right? So, interesting. So if we keep going down, oh, it finds interesting 17 milliseconds. It's like it pings everything. Scanning completed. Okay, so how can I tell it to ignore the ones? This one's kind of weird. Like, for instance, what's this 63 one? Doesn't tell you what a host name, 00 nothing nothing. IP config, maybe from console. Now you can sort by host name. Oh, I see. Sort by host name. Sort by host name. Okay, so let's go back up to the top. NA, not available. Host names not available. You're kidding. Okay, let's minimize this one. This one seems to give me a little more information. Let's scan this one. Let's see what this does. Just to see. Should come up on here if it's going to show up. There's something going on. There's some reason it's not giving out a IP address or something, and unless it's giving a 192.168 thing, and it shouldn't, right? Because it's on my local network. This is where I kind of get lost. Is this part of the whole Windows networking IP rigmarole? This one is going to 1 to 255 on this one, you think? Yeah. NetStats S maybe. Okay, let's try a couple of those things in a second here. It's not, nothing's coming up on here. It's finding all my other devices that are hooked up to my local network, but it's not finding them. So if I go to a console, that's what's the Windows console window called? No, what's the Windows window called? What's it called? The Windows window? Command prompt. There we are. That's what I'm looking for. And so somebody suggested I go. I saw a couple. ipconfig-a. Okay, ipconfig-a. How about ipconfig/all? It's just showing my gateway, yada, yada, yada. Let me read the chat here again. And then somebody else suggested up here netstats-s. No, not recognized by an internal. So it's an IP config something. IPv4 address 192.168.0.100. Oh, that's interesting. Just for the machine you're running the command on. I see. Okay. NBT stat. I'm just trying everything you guys are throwing at me because I have no idea. Oh, no, no, no. Okay. So what if I ping? I'm curious if I were to ping. Yeah, there's nothing pinging because that's the IP it gave it before was 65. Yeah, nothing happening there. Can I ping a? Can I do something like ping No, can't ping an actual host. Huh. Interesting. You can't read my screen? No? I don't know what's going on. It's probably just small. Like, it's probably just really small. Ping up one from the highest listed assigned. Interesting. The highest listed assigned is 39, 139, 141, 185, 186. Okay. $186 pings. Okay. And 187 is not going to ping. Ah. No slash at the end. Should ping it. Oh, really? Okay, let's try. Oh, look at that. It does. Could not find the host. RadOS.local. Please check the name and try again. So it's not even finding the host. RadOS.local. So I don't know what's going on. And the only thing I can think of is I need to burn the 32-bit image. Random IP addresses in my browser. I could do that. You'll need to reboot Windows. You think rebooting Windows and I can find it? You think that might be an issue? What announcer does RadOS use? I do not know. It worked with the other card. That's the kicker. Is it worked with the Pi 02W card when I burned the 32-bit version of the firmware. Now this is the 64-bit version and it's not working, which it should be working on the Pi 4, but maybe I need to image the 32-bit version and try that. I don't know. What do you think? Should I image the 32-bit version and see if that works? Are all the IP addresses in the scanner not the printer? No, none of them are. None of these are the printer. 10.01 to 255. The 192.168 1.255. So you think I should try the 192.168? Yeah. So you're suggesting I try this one to 255, like so. 32-bit image isn't a fix. You need to know if the Pi is even on your. It makes sense. Okay. Connect a display to and keyboard to the Pi and figure out if it's even on the network. Windows hasn't updated its host file with the RadOS entry. You have a network cable you can plug into. Okay, didn't you say host names have never worked on your computer? Yeah, host names never work. So none of these. There's a 207. It's blank. Don't know what it is. Okay. I don't have a keyboard. Well, I don't see. The thing is, I don't have the proper connections to hook up a keyboard and a mouse to my my Pi. Okay, let's look at the angry list. We have the angry list here still, right here. There are two green dots, a 0.1 and a 207. So should I go in and try those IPs? Is that what? If I double click, is it going to tell me what they are? No. Should I go in and try those green dot IPs? Oh, three green dots, 202, 207, and an 01. Why not? Let's try those then. 202 and 207. Let's go to a blank window here. 202 is nothing. And 207. Oh, hang on. Oh, okay. Who said to do that? Who said the green dots? Okay, so there we go. We have something. 207. Why did it not show up? Did it show up on here? Right, that's the one I had highlighted. 207. Jeez. Okay. So there we are. So we are reading, we have the pi. Okay. It's even reading the pi's temperature, which is the pi has a fever. Look at that. Old fart club. I know, Jack. Jeez. I I said last couple streams I may be slow sometimes, but eventually by reading the chat and yada yada, we get it, right? So now we got to do the setup. So the setup, if I'm not mistaken, required. Once we go here, we go configure step. So I just let me just see if this link works. Let's just see if this actually gets me in. The os.local is not working. So I should be able to then put this last portion after the IP address. Okay, in here and do this and then go slash, paste that, and then enter there. Let's see if this does what it should. There we go. Here's where we're continuing the setup. Hey, Maker Viking. Okay, so, okay, let's see what we got to do here. So now we are going to control board. The control board we have is the Octopus V1.1 right here. Next. It's detecting it. See, now it's detecting the octopus. It didn't do that last time. Okay. So we have detected our octopus. Yay. Next. Tool board. Pick your tool board. If you don't use a tool board, you can skip this. I don't have a tool board. Next. Skip. Configure printer mainsail. Now that your control board is configured, you can connect your printer via mainsail and start configuring and calibrating your printer. You can now continue to the next step. Oh, hang on one sec, guys. 1 second. I got a call here. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so what are we agreeing? That and too many chefs in the kitchen. Yeah, you know what? I for and I appreciate everybody in the chat, and but when you combine everybody's knowledge, it's a powerful thing. I do get confused sometimes with all the different um, suggestions, which are great. I don't like to dismiss any suggestion. And but it just made sense. Like I'd never heard of that other IP scanner, and I didn't know what the green light meant. And somebody said I saw three green lights. I thought, okay, let's go check out the green light. And, hey, green lights obviously meant active networks, and it worked. And it worked. That's the main thing is that it did work. It takes a little longer to get there when I'm filtering through all the suggestions and trying everything, but I'm learning as I go. I learned about a new IP scanner tonight that happened to get us where we needed to go. So let's move on. So now we open Mainsail, and there we are. Now, one thing I need to do in Mainsail is I have a special friend that went ahead and sent me. Um, Let me go ahead and take that off in case I have some personal emails on here. But went ahead and sent me. Where is it? In my DeWitt Canada email, and he went ahead and sent me a configuration file that should pretty much almost work for me. Let's see. If it's not possible to get into the router settings, router setting up an IP static for a Pi, it will be difficult. It might give the same address multiple times, but not guarantee. I agree. It won't. No, and I've learned about MAC addresses and everything. We're going to address that later. Tim, go through the steps. Oh yeah, let's go through the. First of all, let's go through the steps. That's a good idea, David. So right here. Okay, let's go ahead and see what they say next. I'm sort of going off key here. So we've done this. We've connected to this. So we have connected to the Pi. So Mainsail. Mainsail is a control interface for your printer. Mainsail is also the web application that talks to Clipper through Moonraker, the Clipper API. Mainsail is what you'll be using to start prints, monitor progress, configure Clipper, and much more. Mainsail is what you see when you open. Okay, that's what we see. But we're going to do some updates. I don't have my config file in yet, and I don't know if I should put my config file in now or do all the updates first. Because when you speak up here, when you look at the installation, they don't talk about a config file yet. Because I do have a config file that Mr. David sent me. Okay. My Mainsail doesn't look like this, obviously, because we're not into it yet. Hardwired is best, yeah. I may end up hardwiring it because the printer's going to have a permanent home down here. So there's always already a config file in there. Oh, I see. Okay. So that's why I'm going to do the updates first. So there we go. Updating. Go to the machine tab in the Mainsail. You'll see a sheet with the title Update Manager. If you're familiar with Fluid or Mainsail, you'll notice a new entry called RadOS. The RadOS package will update the config files in the config folder. Improvements, support for hot ends, macros, extruders, boards, etc. will be coming to your printer this way in the future. Be sure to keep this up to date, especially if you update Clipper or Moonraker. Always update the RadOS package first before updating anything else. This is important because Clipper and Moonraker sometimes make changes that require manual systems or configuration changes, which RadOS will try to do for you. Go ahead and update all the packages to their latest version. Start with RadOS and then click Update All Components. When you update Clipper, RadOS will attempt to flash your board automatically. If this fails, which should be rare, you can always go back to the RadOS local configurator step equals 1 to flash your board if necessary. If you get a Clipper error mentioning MCU and host versions, this means you need to flash your board. Okay, so let's go back and we're going to update all, starting with RadOS, as it suggests here. Okay, so we go into here, we go into machine, and then we find our RadOS update, which is right here, and we update. So first thing we do is update RadOS, and then we update all. Okay, configuration failed. Yeah, of course, we're expecting that. Close. RadOS is updated. Now we're going to update all, just as the instructions say. Yeah, you updated all. Yeah, it just said to do RadOS first, and then it said to do update all. So that's what we'll do at this moment in time. We'll update all. 7 o'clock. Okay, I'll go for another half an hour. I know I said only till 7. We'll go for another half hour. I was late today. We'll at least get this running, and then we'll call it success, and then we'll work on configurations and stuff at another time. But we'll get all the updates done and see where we go. Interesting. The Clipper version on the Pi and MCU need to be the same. Looks like RadOS tries to update the MCU firmware for you. Yeah, I think so. Apparently this RadOS is a cat's meow. It makes life a whole lot simpler. So let's just see what happens. That's correct. The new system is much better at keeping them in sync. Aha. Things have broken in the past if you update all instead of RadOS first. There we go. Okay. Hence following the instructions, right? Let's just, while that's updating, let's see what the instructions say next. In general, it's advisable to keep all your packages up to date. But if you're happy with how your printer works and there's nothing interesting for you in the updates, it's perfectly fine to delay updating until a later time. Klipper is a continually evolving project. That also means the bugs do happen. In a rare circumstances, the bugs are introduced. They're usually fixed very quickly, but if you have a bunch of important prints coming up, maybe delay the updates until afterwards. That's sound advice. Now it's time to start wiring. Find your board under supported boards in the docks to the left and return to the next step below when you've completed your wiring. Oops, I got my wiring all done already. What's up with Richard? I hope he is well. Well or not, please let him know we're all thinking of him. I will do that snapshot. Richard did post something on the First Lift Facebook group today if you want to go read it. He did post something about he's been going through some health issues, he's going through some busy times with work, et cetera, et cetera. But go ahead and read his post on his Facebook group, and it'll explain everything that's happening and when he is going to be back. But from what I understand, and the last time I talked to him, he's on the mend and everything is going to be back to normal quicker than usual. He's working on some videos through August that he's going to be releasing and coming back live in September. But I will let him know when I talk to him that people are thinking of him and wishing him well. Mikkel did an amazing job writing RadOS. It seems like it, yes. The Pi can now flash the main board. David, how? Oh, you just said you don't know how. Now, it'll flash an update too, won't it? So we're still doing updating full. Yeah, so we're still updating stuff. This might take a while. So in the meantime, so we know with after updating, we have to do the wiring, and the wiring's all done. You can now proceed to the configuration guide after this is all done. So if I go to configuration guide, and we're going to be doing all this stuff. Cool. Okay. But let's let the update happen first as we go. Connection failed, try again. I think that's normal after an update. And updating full is done. So if we look over here, we see one more update too. Update manager. Oh no, all the updates are done. Look at that. It's done. If I go to dashboard, there we are. Okay, so we are done here. So let's go ahead and look at the next steps. We've done the wiring, so we can skip the wiring. Oops, wrong screen, because that's been done. So as we saw back here, now it's time to start wiring. We did find the wire. We've wired the board, and after we wired the board, we go to the configuration guide. So RadOS only needs minimal configuration to work, but it comes with a lot of optional functionality that you can enable manually. Once you have completed the initial setup and opened RadOS Local in your browser, you're almost ready to print. For some reason, I cannot open the local address in my browser. I don't know why, but anyways, it's got to be the IP. There's just, and that's not just with the RadOS. That's with all the Vorons as well. A few things to go over to make sure the configuration matches your particular setup. Okay, initial configuration. On the dashboard of Mainsail, you'll see a macro group called installation, which consists of buttons that will install a specific printer configuration when you click them. Okay, click on the button that corresponds to your printer to install the configuration. So we have a VCore Pro config. So if we go over to here, we have VCore 3 is what we are working on, a VCore 3. So if I go install VCore 3 config, and I know, David, you sent me a configuration, but I think we'll just do the basic one and then we can update the configuration. So we have VCore 3, we have Minion, we have VCore Pro, we have VCore and Voron. So they have Voron. Oh, look at that's interesting. So I can put my Vorons on here too, and even a Prusa Mark III. So we need the VCore 3 config. Okay. Moonraker can't connect to Klipper. Oh, here we go. There we go. This looks good. VCore 3 config. And it did recognize everything. Oh, this is nice. Look, it's got a temperature on my extruder, temperature on my hot end. Can I turn my fan off now, finally? Controller fan, two-head cooling fan. It says it's at 0%. My fan is still running full. Anyways, we'll worry about that in a minute. VCore 4, VCore 3. VCore 4, where? There was no VCore 4. Okay, so we've got this far. This is good. I didn't see a VCore 4 there, Dave. I saw VCore Pro. Typo. Ah, okay. Well, stop that. You're making me question my motives. No. Okay. Check the button that corresponds to your printer install configuration. If you accidentally click the wrong button, you can install another printer config by copying the contents of the template found in config/templates. Okay. Don't freak out if you get errors. I didn't get any errors. I'm not freaking. Now navigate to machine page in Mainsail. There's a list of files. Among them is a printer config. Right-click and choose Edit. This is where your Klipper configuration lives. As you can see, it's pre-populated with all you need to get your printer up and running quick and easy. Follow the instructions in the file to make sure the configuration matches your setup. Are you still getting errors? Not getting any errors. So this is the point. Too many beers, David? There you go. This is the point where I should. So under machine, I do have a printer config file right here, and there is my printer config file, but this is where I can go ahead and bring in the printer config file that David provided me, because he's got almost the exact same setup as me, and it'll just save me a little bit of work going through these. I can go through these, but, you know, this has this has everything. We have the 1.1 configuration, the board. We have base setup, RadOS homing, macros config. So we have all these other config files that we're going to be referring to. No, what? I don't know. What are you saying, Stephen? Wow, this looks so different than to, including RadOS Printer VCore 300 config. So this one, for instance, here, I'm just going to go through this a little bit. We want to comment out that, and we want to bring in the 500 millimeter config. That's one change we got to make. I'm going to try this first. Yeah. Here we go. Now we have a capacitive probe. We do not have that probe, an inductive capacitive probe. Beacon, we do have a beacon probe. Look at that. They even have the beacon in here. Look at that. But we haven't got the beacon plugged in yet. Okay. And run beacon calibration. Okay. So we got our probe. Physical end stop on X. Include RadOS printers VCore 3 physical end stop X equals config. Y config, that's fine. Too many. Sensorless homing, yada, yada, yada. We're just going to leave all this as, okay, extruder. LGX Lite. We do not have that extruder. We have, what do we have? Orbiter. What is my extruder called? I keep forgetting the name of this thing. It's called the Apis, and I'll bet you the Apis extruder is not in here. We do not have an Apis extruder, but we do have a Rapido. So we have the Rapido hot end. It doesn't matter. Oh, so we need the Rapido high flow. I don't know if it makes a difference. Copperhead, Mosquito, Dragon. So we just have this standard Rapido hot end. And the Apis, I don't see the Apis. Now, did you have to add that, David, or did you pick one of the other ones that is similar or the same as the Apis? Because we have the BMG, the LGX Lite, the Orbiter 1004, Chimera, and the Titan listed in here. Apis is in your config. Okay. Okay. Well, we'll get back to that. So we're going to come back to that and look for the proper extruder. Okay, we've got the proper hot, and I have the Rapido high flow, but that's the Rapido here. Although they do have a Dragon high flow versus a standard flow for the Dragon, but I don't know if there should be a separate one for the Rapido high flow, but we'll think about that in a minute. You can find the section and copy. Oh, okay. I could probably go. Let me just back off here until I open this email that you did, and let me download your file. Local. Where is the Vcore 3? Configuration. Is this the? Oops. Oh, why this opened it up in a program called? What did it just open on me? I don't know what it opened. Hang on a minute. I need to printer config. Here we are. It's opening it in a weird program, but I'm not seeing anything. Oh, Richard McLean, thank you so much. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the $10, Richard. Wow, where's my window so I can do my little thing? Right here. Oh, thank you so much. Here it is.
Super chat.
Awesome. That is much appreciated, my friend. You got your sound. I'll give you another sound. Anybody wants a sound? Don't start anything until you have a Z probe. Z probe. No, no, no. Definitely not. Chat and desktop right above each other. It would. And I'm going to try and I've got the chat pulled out. Here we go. Okay. There we go. Okay, I'm going to find. Okay, let's go back to the. I'm just going to download that file. Let me download that config file, save, and we'll save that into my downloads. There we go. Okay, now I can go ahead and share screens and open that download. I just want to find that printer config file you gave me. I cannot use that software, whatever it is, and close that one. Come into here. We'll go to the downloads. This is it right here, and yes, it's fine. Oh no, that's not what I wanted. Where did no? Yes, I want to quit. Where did the file go that I just downloaded from you? Oi, oi, oi. I tell you, I am just a bundle of nothing right now. The fan is in printer config also. You can stop the damn fan. Yeah, no kidding. It's friggin' loud. It's annoying. But for now, I need to get that file that I just downloaded. Let me go back here. I just don't have mail opening. Save. RS500 backup. Okay, we'll save it to the desktop. It's going to be a pain in the butt like that. So I saved you there we are. Okay, so I saved you to the desktop. We'll pop that config file out. Okay, there we go. Jack Black, $5. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. I'm going to also give you the sound.
Super chat.
Thank you so much, sir. Soup or chat. So you can get a soup or chat. I owe you guys a lot of soup. Looking dapper, thank you. But you're admittedly biased in color. I'm called the Walking Pylon. Oh, KB3D, super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Super chat.
There you go. You get some soup as well. Look at you guys. Look at you guys. Okay. Where was I? Right here. Okay, so there's the printer config file. What can I open that with? Can I open that with Notepad? Like, will that open with Notepad so I can just see the lines? Where's Notepad++? Where's Notepad++? Where's Note? There we are, Notepad++. Let's open on the desktop. This PC, desktop. Where's my desktop? Desktop, and it should be printer. There we are. Ah, there we are. Okay, now I want to find that line, and I'm looking for, I'm going to search for Apis. Apis. Where's my search function? Look, search for Apis. There we are. XG and Apis config. Okay. Snapshot FPV. I got to go over here, stop what I'm doing, and give him some soup.
Super Chat.
Everybody gets some soup. Everybody wants the soup instead of the chat, but that is okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh, you want super salad? Oh, I need to do an option for super salad. Okay, we are in the Apis section here. XG and Apis. Where am I looking for Apis's? Okay, so we have all our Apis sets here. So I'm copying, there's a rotation distance sensor type, ATM's sensor pin, minimum extruder temperature. What am I copying here, David? XG and Apis config. Nozzle diameter, I don't need the nozzle, heater pin, sensor type. Is this the right config file? I think it is. RATRIG 500 VCore clipper config. Yeah, it is the right one. Rotation distance. So I want rotation distance, but where am I telling it this is the extruder it's using? Maximum rotation distance 401. Hashtag test for Apis. Minimum temp. Okay, I'm copy. Let me see where. Is there any more? These are the only 3 sections for Apis. Soup is eating chat's lunch. Soup is eating chat's lunch. Okay. TMC 2209 extruder. So this is kind of the section I want. Oh, come on, come on. So I kind of want this section right here. Rotation distance. Kind of like here. Is that what I want, Mr. Wilson? YouTube takes 30%, so should set up a Patreon. Yeah, I should. Actually, I do. Do I have a Patreon? No, I have a PayPal, but I don't think I have a Patreon yet. I do have a Patreon. Yeah, YouTube takes their really takes their cut. Okay, so that's a section I need to copy, David said. So right to here, copy. And let's go back. The beauty of this is I can always fix it. Let's go back in here, and there's the extruder. So I want that to go. what section did you have that in? Sorry, I'm just kind of, I'm still brain dead from my long drive today. Stepper Z, Stepper Z1, Stepper Z2, and then you have this after your probe configuration and before your nozzle. Okay. Put my link, I will definitely, Jack, yes. Stepper 1, Stepper Z2, probe, and then you have your extruder and then your nozzle. Okay, so it's in the extruder section right here. Nozzle diameter, so you had that up below the extruder section. This is a nozzle diameter. This stuff should all be fine. Heater bed should all be fine. ADXL 345, we're not going to worry about that yet. And let me just make sure that that is after your probe and prior to your nozzle diameter section. Okay. At this point, you don't have any way to home the printer. No. No. So I'm just going to pop this in here for now. We're not going to do any drastic moves yet. Okay, so we have that in here. You'll need to install the beacon probe or it will error out. Yeah, I definitely have to do that. Actually, I can probably, I definitely need to have the probe in order to home it too. We'll get to that. Okay, so let's go up and let's work our way down here again. Everything up to here was okay. So we have the beacon probe and it just says, just connect it. And it will run beacon _ calibrate. Okay. The only thing you can do is extrude filament. I will double my donation next week if Tim learns his Wi-Fi password. I know my Wi-Fi password. I do not. I know it off the top of my head, and I will prove I know it next week. You're on, Richard. You are on. It is on. Okay, so the extruder. Well, we still haven't told it what kind of extruder to include here. So was that in your file? I don't know if it was. Where's your extruder section up here? Did you even bother with that? Pick your printers. Your little config file here looks a fair bit different. Pick the drivers. Hey, Miles, how are you? You mean my router password? Oh, okay. And you guys all know it too. Yeah, of course. I'm not worried about that. Okay. You know, I should just copy your whole config file, David. Just the specifics. Copy your config file, then I'll be able to home it and everything. I mean, and I just have to change a few things, but yeah, I'm getting. Oh. This is the fun part. This is the part that takes a little bit of like, G-code macro, rad OS, blah, 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 variant relative extrusion to date, printer configuration, customize the defaults to your specific build. Save your current file first as a backup. Yeah, I will. Yeah, let's go save and close. So we save this. I'm just going to come up in here. I'm going to rename this real quick. I'm going to rename this printer.back. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to upload a file from my desktop. And it's going to be the file called printer. Open. And there it is, printer config. There's Mr. David's file. There's your file, David. So now let's see what I got to change for my setup. Hope you guys can see that. I mean, I can't. I guess I could make this a little bigger on my screen. Depends what size screen you're going to. Can I go Control Plus? No, Control Minus. It made everything else bigger. If I go here, can I go Control Plus? Make that a little bigger. There we go. Hopefully you guys maybe can read that. Add the local folder TP RAD OS. We'll figure all that out. I am getting hungry and tired. Yeah, I'm 7:26. I'm not going to go much longer, and we'll work on this. But I know that I've got to change a couple things in this. RadOS local vCore 3500 config. RadOS physical end stop. Yada filament switch sensor, runout sensor. I don't have a sensor, so we're going to comment that out. We're going to actually, what's the shortcut to comment everything out? There's a shortcut. If I highlight those lines, yeah. Okay, and if I think it's Control/. Yeah, there we go. That way I can comment them out all at the same time. Yeah, I can do it all at the same time by going Control/. Macros, okay. Code macros, we're not going to worry about that. So David says I'm going to get a lot of errors until I do. I'm going to have to add the local folder for TP RAD OS, which is up here somewhere, which was up top, right? No. Well, we'll figure that out when we get the errors. Okay, so we commented out the filament sensor because we don't have one right now. Stepper X, stepper Y, everything else should be pretty similar. EasyABL configuration. So this is we have to take that out. I do not have an EasyABL. Okay, so we're going to comment that out. Local folder to RAT OS. I'll have to find where that is. So we have our APIS config here. Okay. We have our nozzle. Our nozzle's fine. Our heater pin should be very similar if we plugged everything into the same place. Display. I do not have a display at this moment. Output pin beeper. I don't have a display at this moment. You sent me the local folder. Okay. 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 Let's save this for now. Let's find that local folder you did send me, which I believe was in here, and then local. Okay. Now, in the local folder, where do I need to put that? Okay. So there's the local folder. There's a printer config file. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Copy that to the RAD OS folder. Oh, okay. Where is my RAD OS folder? Where is my RAD OS folder? Oh, Lord. I've got... That's going to be on the Pi. Is it not? Yeah, on the Pi. So I got to get in SSH into the Pi. No, I've got to get into the Pi through, oh, what's that called? What's that called? Oh, what that's called? What's that? Putty? Go back to the printer config file. FileZilla. Okay, I'm gonna go with David here. I'll go back to the printer config file. printer config, which is right here. And RadOS local boards BTT. PuTTY, WinSCP, PuTTY. But yeah, I need SFTP. There's a lot of different things I can do here. But David is saying that I need to copy that folder. I need to local folder to RadOS. I think folder, copy that to the RadOS folder. Okay, NH3D, thank you. I know it's always fun. It's always exciting with me because I don't know what I'm doing half the time. Without your guys' help, I'd be kind of stuck. I'll use WinSCP. I think WinSCP is the one I have. Is it WinSCP that I have? I have a few in here. I do have WinSCP. Newer version was released. We won't worry about that for now. Or do I have to? It looks like it's going to force me to upgrade it. Yeah, that's fine. There we go. We'll get the latest version real quick. It won't take long. There we go. Yes. Go ahead and do whatever you want. I'll accept everything. Let's install you. And let's run you when you're done. Launch WinSCP open getting started page. I don't think I need to. I'm not going to donate anything right now. And new site. And we're going to go to the host name, which was 10.0.207. Username was Raspberry. Oh no, Pi. Wrong password. I typed too fast. Here we go. Okay, so we're in the Pi. We are looking for here, let me make this bigger so you guys can see if this works. No, it's not. Why won't it make this one bigger? Anyways, we're looking, or is it under Clipper? No, RadOS configurator. No. Where am I going to find that file? How do I go back up? Oh, right there. So we need to move the local file. David said, copy that into the RadOS folder. So I need to find a RadOS folder. Is that the RadOS configurator folder? Is that the folder we want to copy it into here, David? It's the only one that says RadOS on it. It's a configurator folder. Don't think it'll be under Clipper. Nope. Home Pi Printer config TOS. Home Pi Printer. Home Pi Printer config. Printer config RadOS. Oh, there we are. Okay, so copy the local into the RadOS folder. Okay, so this one here, we're going to copy into here. There it is, local. That's what you wanted me to do. Okay. I never would have found that. Oh my goodness. Like, that's like all the way up here. It's all done. So we have printer data. We have RadOS. Oops. I think it went to the right spot. Config, RadOS, and there's our local folder. Done. Now restart the Pi. Okie dokie. What's the best way to restart a Pi without? Oh, I know. go in here, and we're going to save and close that. And then we go here and we restart, firmware restart. Yeah, so then we're going to get some errors with the probes and all this stuff. Actually, if we just restart and the firmware restart. Yeah, so we're going to start coming up with the different errors and stuff now. And we have to go through and calculate all those errors. And there's definitely going to be an error in the probe because we haven't got the probe plugged in yet. We have to work on a few different things here. So we're getting late, 7:30. I didn't want to stream too late tonight, guys, but we made some progress. We know that for now, the IP address to the printer is 207. 207. That might change once we turn things off and power them back on, but I know now, excuse me, I feel like I've been drinking. I'm very lightheaded. I know now that I can go into Angry IP Scanner and get the information we need. Definitely. So we've made a lot of progress. That's good. I'm really happy with this. So what we need to do is I'm going to need to plug in the beacon probe, and as it suggested in the config file, plug in the beacon probe, and then I'm going to run config_beacon, whatever it said there. So yeah. Oh, that was a lot. Well, we made some progress. That's good. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that. But I'm gonna call it. I'm very tired after the long drive today. It's been a long day, and I've got to have some food yet. We were going to order Chinese food. Yeah. So nobody wants to cook tonight. So, and I don't blame us. So I want to thank everybody for the super chats. I mean, you guys are generous, and I appreciate that. I owe you guys a lot of soup. Apparently some salad, and apparently next week I have to learn my router password. So you moved all your specific files to a new folder that can't be overwritten. Awesome. Oh, we'll work on this. You guys, I mean, I go through this every time with the configuring it. I don't do it often enough, and it's really one of those things that's a little bit tough to get a grasp on unless you do it all the time. So, but we'll get it. Hey, Jose, you stuck around to the end. Look at you. You must be tired, man. Wow. Well, good for you. Appreciate you being here. So listen, guys, everybody have a good week, and we're gonna definitely continue this, and we're gonna get this going. I want to get filament. I want to get filament pushed through this thing. I want to get this thing printing. I think all we got to do now is get the probe in, configure the probe, tweak the config file that David has given us, get rid of any errors that we have pop up, and hopefully then we can start pushing some plastic through, test our motors. We got to test our motors, test our homing, everything like that. So baby steps, little baby steps. So you guys all have a good week. And again, thank you so much for the super chats. Very much appreciated. I'm going to try and bring a bowl of soup next week just for everybody that super chats. And each time I get a super chat, I will have some soup on you. So thanks, guys. We'll catch all you guys next week for sure. And maybe keep an eye out during the week. I might pop on and do a little bit of this tweaking because I'd love to get this thing printing next Sunday. I really would. So I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night. Bye for now.